So can I start now?
Yeah, Shashwati, you can start.
Okay. Just a second. Just a second. Shit. Just a second. I'm having some issues, I guess. I don't know why I can't start it. Is it visible actually?
No,
Is
no,
it
no, no.
is
Still
it
not
visible?
visible. No, not visible, Shashwati. Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
visible.
now it's visible.
Okay, now it's visible. No, okay. Okay, my topic was about air pollution. We all know what air pollution is, but to start with, I'll start that why air is essential. Means, what is air? Air is a gas, right? So why is it essential? It is essential because it actually helps us to grow, to maintain our life. Here contains oxygen and other compounds that help in burning, oxidation, or combustion. Not only that, the layer of air around our Earth actually helps in maintaining the temperature. Okay, and uh, along with that, it from here we by use of windmill we can extract energy. So it is a source of energy again. Okay. I have muted my video because of this data issues. Okay. And it also helps from carbon dioxide obtained from here air helps in photosynthesis. Okay. This is the layer of uh, air that covers that surrounds our earth. Our earth is actually covered by a blanket of air, and we name it as atmosphere. And if you see the layer of earth, just from the ground level, is the troposphere. The troposphere is the layer closest to the earth. Then comes the stratosphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere, and the exosphere. The exosphere is the outermost layer. Okay, and this troposphere is a layer that comes in direct contact with the organism, with the living beings. And this between the troposphere and the stratosphere, mainly in the stratosphere, is a layer called the ozone layer. This ozone layer is of utmost importance because it prevents the UV rays from entering the Earth's surface. Okay, so it actually acts as a protective blanket. Okay. Now, this is a natural composition of air. Normally, the air we breathe or the air in which we stay, we live, actually consists of about maximum more than 50%, near about 78% as nitrogen, near about 21%, 20.98 actually, 21% oxygen, other are carbon dioxide and other gases. Inert gases are near about 1%, and water vapor is 1%. Although this water vapor concentration and this carbon dioxide and other gas concentration, this varies accordingly. Means according to temperature, according to locality. Now, what is air pollution? We have come to know what is air, the importance of air, but what when we call it as a air pollution. Now, air pollution means addition of any substances into the air that actually causes the safe level. Now, air contains various gases and molecules. Now, when at a certain concentration, when that concentration is appropriate for our life to survive, but when this substances exceeds the certain safe level, then we call it as an air pollution. And this exceeding of this certain safe level actually has got a tremendous effect on human beings, the animals, the vegetation, and therefore, so see, air pollution is defined as an atmospheric condition in which substances are present at concentration exceeding the safe level. So when the substances present, the normal constituent of carbon, nitrogen, and this oxygen, when they exceed a certain safe level, then we call it as a air pollution, because they have got a measurable, tremendous effect on man, animal, and vegetation, and that can be measured. Okay. And it actually, the effect is undesirable effect on man and environment. And these substances can be natural substances as well as anthropogenic. And anthropogenic are substances that are actually enters into the environment through human activity. Okay. And of course, the substances need to be airborne for air pollution to occur. Now, what are air pollutant? Am I audible? No, just that.
Yes, you are audible, Shashwati. You are audible.
And are the slides visible now? Because last time I
Yes,
had some
clearly visible.
network issue.
Clearly
Okay,
visible.
okay, okay, okay.
Please continue.
Okay. Now, what are air pollutants? Air pollutants are those substances that actually cause the air pollution, and we can differentiate air pollutant into according its types. Say, for as if you consider or it's about its origin, then the pollutant can be primary pollutant and secondary pollutant. Now, primary pollutant are pollutants that has a direct effect on the air pollution. Means, for example, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, that has got a direct effect on air pollution. Okay. The secondary pollutants are the pollutants which, on reaction with other components of the air, form certain air pollutants. Say, for example, nitric acid, sulfuric acid. These are secondary pollutants. They are actually derived from the primary pollutant. Now, composition wise, on depending on the chemical composition, they can be organic, they can be inorganic. Organic components are those that are actually mostly made up of hydrocarbons, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen, and hydrogen. And inorganic components are those inorganic matters as carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxides, and all those oxides of sulfur. Okay. Now, depending on the states of matter, they can be particulate and gaseous. Particulate matters are PM, means particulate matter. They have got a diameter, and they can be classified as aerosols and others. We'll go into details. And gaseous are those hydrocarbon gases, as for example, this chlorofluorocarbon, etc. All those things that are harmful for us. And there is a special classification, although this was not previously held, but now considering the current situation, scientists have categorized certain pollutants as criteria pollutant. The number 4, criteria pollutant. These are specialized pollutants. These are a special group actually. Those are actually affecting the human life. And that's why they have been classified into separately as criteria pollutant. Okay. See, primary pollutants are substances that are emitted directly to the atmosphere and found there in the form in which they were emitted. As for example, carbon compounds, as I said, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds. Nitrogen compounds as oxides of nitrogen, as nitrous oxide, nitrogen oxide, nitric oxide, and ammonia, all those things. Sulfur compounds as H2S, hydrogen sulfide, and sulfur dioxide. Particulate matter as PM10 and PM2.5. Now, this 10 and 2.5 are the measurement of the particles. Okay. We'll go into detail. See, here I have given a chart in which you can see that, see what are they are actually carbon monoxide. The percentage is given, and from where we get majority of the carbon monoxide is, they come majority from the transportation. This nitrogen oxide percentage, about 14.8% nitrogen oxides are actually obtained, as well as volatile organic compounds actually are obtained from stationary sources as fuel combustion, and sulfur oxides are obtained from this miscellaneous sources as well as solid wastes. Okay. Secondary pollutant, as I said, that these are the substances that are actually obtained from the primary pollutant by chemical reaction in the presence of sunlight. Okay, it's a photochemical reaction. Since sunlight is involved, that's why it's photochemical reaction, or by hydrolysis or oxidation. As for example, I said that from nitrogen dioxide we are getting nitric acids. Okay, that is reaction when this nitrogen dioxide mixes with water during rain, we are getting nitric acid, and this nitric acid is one of the component of this acid rain. Well, there is another molecule called ozone. See, ozone is otherwise it forms a layer over the earth, and actually it protects the earth. Okay, but thing is that this ozone is not that ozone, not the ozone layer that is found in the stratosphere. This is the ground level ozone. This ground level ozone is not good. We'll go into detail how this ozone is formed, but for now, just see that these are actually obtained from nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds. When volatile organic compounds combine, from this volatile organic compounds are this benzene and toluene. Uh, Normally, we get this toluene in this paints and all those things, and this volatile organic compounds on reaction with nitrogen oxides forms the ozone. Okay, it's a complex chemical reaction. This acid droplets, sulfuric acid from sulfur dioxide and nitric acid from nitrous oxide. This forms the acid rain, as I mentioned earlier, and organic aerosols, and this PAN, this peroxyacetyl nitrate. This peroxyacetyl nitrate is actually is one of the component that is actually present in photochemical smog. Okay, now this peroxyacetyl nitrate, it actually acts as a nitric oxide, what to say, carrier. And what does it affect? How does it affect? It actually affects the respiratory system. It has a direct effect on our respiratory system, and it causes eye irritation, asthma, and all those things. So this is also harmful. See, this is a primary versus secondary pollutant. These are the primary pollutant. Most hydrocarbon, most suspended particles can be obtained from natural sources, can be obtained from stationary sources, from mobile sources as automobiles. Stationary sources are the industries and factories. Natural sources are the volcanic eruptions, sea sprays, and everything, forest fires. These are natural sources, and they, on reaction, they forms the secondary pollutant. So it's a relation between the primary pollutant and the secondary pollutant. Now, depending on the chemical composition, pollutants are classified as organic and inorganic. Natural organic pollutant, these are natural organic pollutants are this virus, bacteria. Now, I know somebody may ask me about coronavirus, considering about this virus. Okay, we'll discuss it and later in the slide, not now. But those are these pollens. They do act as pollutant because people do suffer from allergies due to this pollen. There are dust allergies. Okay, so pollen also can behave as a pollutant, mostly in hilly areas. Synthetic organic pollutant, these are actually obtained from this plastic mills and paper mills, and in industries like aldrin and endrine. Inorganic pollutants includes all those things. Those are inorganic compounds of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbonates, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, hydrogen peroxide, chloride, all those things. They have a corroding effect, these inorganic pollutants. Now, depending on the states of matter, they are classified as particulates or particulate matter, or PM in abbreviation. Now, what are PM? Are the fine solids or liquid droplets suspended in air. So they can be solid or liquid droplets. Okay. Uh, these are the abbreviations of total suspended particulate matter, and these are respirable suspended particulate matter. This is a PM10 is an example. PM10 are particulate. See, I said that 2.5 or 10 are particle. For example, PM10 are particulates of equivalent spherical diameter of 10 micrometer or less. If it is 2.5, then it is 2.5 micrometer or less. Okay, so it has got a direct effect on our health. Okay, and see, here is a chart explaining the dust. These are the sizes, the fumes, the smoke, the fly ash. Fly ash is normally obtained from industries. There's a mist and this spray. It's a chart depending on the size. See, here it's a comparison between a particulate. If you want to understand that how small a particulate matter is, you can compare it with your own hair. Okay, a single hair is about 70 micrometer average diameter, and if you consider 70 micrometer the thickness of your single hair strand, just think of the particulate matter that is 2.5 micrometer in diameter. So PM 2.5 is so small that is much thinner, much smaller than that of your hair, a single strand of hair. Okay, can you just think how small it is? And so being so small, you can inhale it, and when you inhale it, it will directly affect your lungs. So particulate matter is not that good. You are inhaling oxygen, you are inhaling the air, along with it the particulate matter of 2.5 or 10, they are also entering. They will have a direct effect on your lungs. They will block your alveoli, and they can cause respiratory disease. It's just a comparison, just to think that, just hold, you can, at this moment you can hold your hair strand and just compare that how small a particulate matter is indeed. Here are examples. Aerosol, these are primary aerosols. This aluminum, selenium, cobalt, and this is secondary aerosols. Okay. Aerosols are again particulate matter that are dispersed into the gaseous state. Okay, so they are aerosols. So in air, solids in air as aerosols. Now come the gaseous pollutant. The gaseous pollutant are this nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, okay, and methane. One of the example, one of the major reason of greenhouse gas, you can say. Okay, gaseous pollutants have a property of filling up the available space until their concentration falls to equilibrium by diffusion. So they will diffuse readily because it's a nature of gaseous substances. Okay. Here is the baseline classification, what we have read so far. Depending on origin, this is the primary pollutant, the secondary pollutant. Depending on the chemical composition is the organic, inorganic, and depending on the state of matter, it is the particulates, the gaseous, and the liquid. Okay. Now we'll go into some detail about this common pollutant and the problems caused by them. One of the most common is carbon monoxide, CO. Now, carbon monoxide readily combines with hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin because this hemoglobin has got near about more than 200 times more affinity for this carbon monoxide than with oxygen. And therefore, when this carbon monoxide combines with hemoglobin, when hemoglobin combines with carbon monoxide, this hemoglobin loses its capacity of binding the oxygen. And therefore, the blood that was supposed to carry the oxygen to the blood body tissues, they fail to do their purpose. As a result, they affect individual, causing respiratory failure and even death. And the major effect of carbon monoxide contamination is they affect the central nervous system, causes heart attack, and is a cause of high mortality. So the thing on which carbon monoxide triggers is this oxygen binding capacity of hemoglobin, and this carboxyhemoglobin is a very stable compound indeed. It causes gas poisoning. Sulfur oxides. Now, sulfur oxides are sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide that form sulfuric acid and sulfurous acids. Now, both this sulfuric acid and sulfurous acids are major component of this acid rain. And not only that, these sulfur dioxide are mainly obtained from the refineries, okay, from the coal mining, and by the use of, when we use coal as a fuel, we emit a huge amount of sulfur dioxides or oxides of sulfur that are emitted into the air, and they ultimately, on dissolution with water vapor, they forms this sulfurous acid and sulfuric acid. This sulfurous acid or sulfuric acid during rain or when combines with water molecules, they affect the monuments, the plants as well as the water bodies, and they also affect the human health. They cause visual impairment. And this is one of the example is given here, that this brownish spot on Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is otherwise a white structure, and nowadays we could see the brown spot. It's all due to this effect of sulfur dioxide. They have got a corroding effect. Okay. Nitrogen dioxide, it's all the same as that of sulfur dioxides, oxides of nitrogen. And there are near about 7 oxides of nitrogen. Okay. And yeah, they one of the major reason of nitrogen, oxides of nitrogen, it can be nitrous oxide, it can be nitrogen dioxide, nitric oxide, whatever, they are responsible for the formation of smog. What is smog? Smog is nothing but smoke plus fog. Okay, so they are also responsible for the formation of smog. We'll go into detail later. And nitrogen dioxide not only forms smog but also affects the respiratory system. Okay, they cause this acute pulmonary edema, and has got a irritates the eye, cause bronchitis, and again it's one of the component of acid rain, forms ozone, ground level ozone on reaction with volatile organic compound. Okay, this is the nitrogen dioxide or oxides of nitrogen. Now this is ground level ozone. Is this slide visible? I think the font is quite small because I had to incorporate a lot of data.
Yes, visible, Shashwati.
Yeah. Okay.
You can make it in a full screen also.
Uh, yeah, I can. But I'll do it. That's okay. That's okay now.
No, it's not coming full screen.
It's not coming full screen, but I have made it.
Maybe slow net, you can continue, no problem. It's visible.
Okay, I have actually enlarged the this
Okay, okay, fine.
visibility, because when I made it full screen, it wasn't showing. I think slow net. Yeah.
Hmm. Now it's fine, you continue.
Okay, now ground level ozone. Now, why did I say that ground level ozone is not good? Because at ground level, we need oxygen to breathe. We do not need ozone. Ozone is required to protect our Earth from the harmful rays of the sun. But at ground level, if our oxygen gets converted into ozone, then it will be suffocating for us to stay. Okay. Not only that, as the ground level ozone level increases, it will prevent the heat from radiating out from the layers of the earth, means from the land, because the earth throughout the day absorbs the radiation and a certain percentage of it gets radiated out, reflected out. If the ground level ozone forms, then it will prevent that heat to escape out into the environment. So ground level ozone is harmful in many ways. So it will actually replace the oxygen one, causing various side effects as will lead to suffocation, will lead to irritation, coughing, and it will affect our skin. It will cause our skin to burn. It will cause loss of vegetation because depletion of oxygen will ultimately have a negative effect on photosynthesis. So that's why ground level ozone is called bad ozone. Okay. And this ground level of ozone has here the reaction shows here is the reaction seen. Oxides of nitrogen with volatile organic compound, a complex chemical reaction occurs, and along with heat and sunlight, this forms ozone. Okay. Now, this volatile organic compounds and oxides of nitrogen are actually obtained from gasoline, from those motor vehicles, exhaust, and ultimately they will affect the airway. Coughing and pain in taking deep breath, inflammation like sunburn, bronchitis and pneumonia, and loss of vegetation. So who has given a guideline? World Health Organization has provided a guideline that not greater than 150 to 200 microgram per ml cube is accepted. So it's a guideline, it's a range actually, only that much is permitted. Now lead is another source that causes air pollution, and it is actually obtained from petrol. Okay, it is actually added to petrol for its effect, this anti-knocking agent as. But recently, it's a lead-free gasoline is being used, but previously lead is actually is a major component of petrol, and we know that for all automobiles, majority of the automobiles work on petrol. So petrol is important. So when this petrol or when we use petroleum products, when they are being degraded, when they are being used, they do liberate lead in smoke or in other byproducts. So this lead has got effect on gastrointestinal damage, affects our liver and kidney, and affects the fertility. And of course it affect, this is important now, lead is highly toxic for the school going children because they help to reduce them, they just prevent their mental development, they cause mental retardation, and as well as behavioral problems, learning defects, and poor IQ. So lead has got a major effect on the infants and children, school going children. Well, this is another group, carcinogenic pollutant, although this is not being categorized as those as a pollutant as such, but there are certain compounds like 3,4 benzopyrene or certain polycyclic organic compounds or aliphatic hydrocarbons that are actually responsible for cancer. Although no, cancer is a complex disease, and there are so many reasons for a cancer to happen. Okay, cancer to occur. So it had been found that these components they do play a role in causing cancer or in enhancing this cancer disease. Okay, as 3,4 benzopyrene. and they are actually formed due to the incomplete combustion of hydrocarbon. Now, greenhouse gases and global warming. This is a very common topic. We all know what are greenhouse gases, but then again, since it is a part of this air pollution, so I have to discuss it. We won't go into detail, but we need to discuss all this. Now, greenhouse effect. We all know greenhouse effect, isn't it? Students, you know now what greenhouse
Yes,
effect is.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then also I'll go. I won't go into detail, but I'll just discuss it in brief. Now, see, just come into this image. We'll discuss it with this image. Okay, okay, sorry. Look at this image. This is our Earth. Okay, this on the left side, we have this natural greenhouse effect, and this is greenhouse effect intensified by human. What happens? Throughout the day, our Earth absorbs the solar radiation, and at night, slowly it radiates. It re-radiates, means it gives away. Now, the blanket of air or our atmosphere provides a blanket and prevents this solar radiation, because solar radiation has got a high intensity. This solar radiation, bulk of the solar radiation is kept away from the Earth's surface, because if that much would have allowed to enter the Earth's surface, then we won't be able to survive. So bulk of it either are reflected back or are radiated back. Even then, the little percentage that enters the Earth's surface, slowly that radiates at night. Okay. Now, what happens? A portion of the heat, that is, or radiation that is given by the sun, is absorbed by our Earth, because otherwise our Earth would have been a cold land, like we won't be able to survive. So a portion need to be absorbed in order to maintain the basic temperature. Now, normally what happens when you are talking about natural, that a portion of it is a portion of the solar radiation is accepted or absorbed, portion it is re-radiated in the form of heat. Okay. Now, when we are using this automobiles or any any way that increases this greenhouse gases as methane, carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, what they get accumulated in that layer, in the troposphere. As a result, they prevents the Earth from re-radiating the heat. They do not allow the Earth to radiate the heat that had been absorbed at night time. The Earth do re-radiate, right? But this layer of air, they prevent this heat to get out from the Earth's surface. As a result, the basic temperature, baseline temperature, the temperature at the ground level of Earth's surface increases. And this actually is due to the less heat escape from into the space. That less heat is being escaped into the space, which otherwise would would have been more. So this actually causes has got a negative effect on the life of Earth, on the Earth's surface. Okay, this because this will actually increase the temperature of the Earth, and it won't allow the organisms, the plants, the vegetations, the individuals to survive, and will cause the actually cause the snow caps to melt, will lead to flood and whatnot. So that is called the global warming. And this greenhouse gases are these gases, this carbon dioxide, oxides of carbon, methane, nitrogen dioxide, nitrous oxides. Okay, clear. Another effect is the ozone hole. Now, ozone hole or the ozone hole depletion has been a hot cake since last 10 years. Okay, because we were all concerned about the hole has been created on the ozone layer, and that actually cannot prevent the harmful UV radiation to enter the Earth's surface, and this will lead to cancer and etc. etc. whatnot. So, what is this ozone hole? This ozone hole, the ozone layer in the stratosphere actually prevents the harmful radiation of the Earth from entering the Earth's surface. Now, not only that, the UV rays, the ultraviolet, the radiative rays, which are actually harmful for the organism. So, ozone has got a positive effect. Okay, now, use of certain chemicals as chlorofluorocarbon and other fluorocarbon, chlorobromocarbon, all these things, they actually cause a depletion on this ozone hole, which has been observed in the Antarctic. This is the ozone hole depletion in Antarctica. This is the South Pole. And see, this is the ozone hole depletion. Can you see my cursor moving? Through
Yes,
which,
ma'am.
through which the UV rays will be allowed to enter. Okay, and that will have a negative effect on the organisms over the Earth's surface. Now, this is the recently it has been found that we all of us have read that there was a hole created on the Antarctic in the South Pole, but there were news from NASA that in Arctic also, in the North Pole also, the hole has been created. So see, here it was the hole, and this is the data of 23rd March 2020. See, the hole has been created over Antarctic. This is the NASA view, photograph from NASA. But considering the negative effect of ozone hole and the reasons why ozone holes is created, government all over the world has made it a point not to use the chlorofluorocarbon compounds like AC that are used in AC, refrigerators, and in certain industries, in certain coolant making industries, and with that, people have stopped using this chlorofluorocarbon and this high complex carbon compounds, and for that there has been a good news, means something positive did turned out. See, this is the image that NASA has contradicting all the other information. This is the information that I obtained on 2020, means on 2020. This is a recent news, is that the ozone hole caused due to this unregulated use of CFCs and methyl bromide. That NASA has shown that due to the stoppage of using this harmful chlorofluorocarbons, halogens, and dichlorofluoromethane, and etc., the ozone hole in Arctic is shrinking. This is something good. This is the NASA image. This too is a NASA image of the Arctic. And see, they have shown that these are the only spots through which those are left to mend. Otherwise, it's shrinking. So it's something positive. Okay. So slowly it's returning to something positive. Okay. Then smog. We read about smog. Now, what is smog? Smog is a specific type of air pollution, and smog, the name suggests, it's actually a mixture of smoke and fog. Hence the name, smog. Okay, and how smog is visible? It actually forms a brownish yellow haze over the land surface, where there are high population, where there is a in cities, in metropolis, where the population is high, where the automobiles are more, and then the smoke liberated from these automobiles, from these vehicles, combines with the fog, and there forms the smog. And this smoke, what are the components that actually cause smog? The components in the automobile smoke actually includes this nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, carbon monoxides, and again the volatile organic compounds, as well as the particulate matter and this ground level ozone. All this thing combines with this fog, these water droplets, and forms the smog. Now, since fog is only visible during the winter, because the during winter the ground level temperature falls and the water vapor condenses to form the fog, therefore smog is normally visible during the winter season. Okay, and smog are of again two types. One is normal smog, also called the London type smog. Okay, caused due to the burning of large amount of high sulfur coals, and another is photochemical smog, which is a modern phenomenon commonly produced by vehicle emission in contact with sunlight. Photochemical means sunlight plays a major role and is due to the burning of gasoline and diesel. Okay. Now, sources of pollution. Sources of pollution. Considering the sources of pollution, they are can be differentiated as indoor as well as outdoor. The indoor pollution are the pollution, although I'm facing noise pollution at this moment, anyways. Indoor pollution are the pollution that actually occurs in our house only. Okay, as burning of the chula. Chula means that in village we see now the chula burning using the coal and all those things, cow dung. They just burn those burners. They emit a huge amount of smoke and a very good source of carbon monoxide. Okay, these chulas are a very good source of carbon monoxide. The smoking, that is, this is common worldwide. Smoking, you all know. The dust, it can be from your household dust, anything. Insect repellents, this Mortain, there's all those things, the sprays that we use. Okay, insect repellents are also a reason for this air pollution, domestic air pollution. Wood and paper burning. Now, wood and paper burning is something like that. In winters, what we do, we are feeling cold, and that's what we do. We just make campfires. Okay, so we burn wood, paper, and whatnot. We burn garbages. We burn dry leaves. So they are a source of indoor that air pollution. Agarbatti, although that is very I should not comment on agarbatti. And wall and furniture paints. Now, wall and furniture paints, these paints actually contains the petroleum products, mostly toluene, which is not good for our health, not for the kids, not for us, not for elderly. So, wall and furniture paints is another source. Okay, for this air pollution, indoor air pollution. Well, outdoor air pollution includes the automobiles, okay, the vehicles, the industries, the construction sites, because we are all busy for industrialization, urbanization. So, construction sites, one of the example for acts as a source for air pollution. Power plants, open waste burning. Open waste burning is that all the metropolis, they have got a dumping area, and all the waste are then dumped, and suddenly if you start burning them, so it will emit harmful oxides. Okay, harmful organic as well as inorganic oxides. So that causes air pollution. Okay, and biomass burning. Now, what is biomass burning? Biomass burning is just like forest fire, where a biomass has been burned. Means the trees are burnt, and then they liberate smoke, ash, which are actually not good. So, although it's a natural process, but you can't help it. Means the natural process, you can't help it, and but it will cause air pollution. Uh, Another source of air pollution can be point source, non-point source, and anthropogenic source. I didn't elaborate here anything. I just kept the space blank because till now, whatever we were discussing can be actually classified as point source when you can pinpointedly say, "Some come on, this is the source from which air pollution is happening." Non-point source, a diffuse source, that means suppose there is an industry from which the smokes are coming out, so that is a point source. And when the smokes are filling up the air at distant places, they have got a diffused effect of the smoke, so this is a non-point source from the rivers and all those things. And anthropogenic sources are man-made sources. We human beings do cause pollution by use of these paints and all those things, vehicles, and these are anthropogenic sources. See, natural dust storms, forest fires, volcanoes, sea sprays. Now, sea spray is a process, it's a actually natural process where in open sea and ocean, water is spat out into the air. It's a natural process, although I don't know much details about it because I have to ask a geography student about that. There are certain reasons maybe. But what happens, sea salts get out and comes in contact with the air. So, scientists do consider it as a source of air pollution. Plant pollen, as I said, that these are biological objects. Man made are again domestic, industrial, and traffic. Domestic is mostly the indoor pollution, industrial and traffic are outdoor. Now, sources of air pollution are again the stationary sources. Stationary sources, they see smokestacks from industries. Stationary source also includes this construction sites, this which are called a fugitive sources: dirt roads and road construction, industry construction, building construction. They are also a site of source of air pollution. And small urban communities are area sources. Where what's the reason behind small urban communities? Because when we are creating a community, a urban community which is unplanned, okay, which is unplanned, then it will be a reason for the air pollution. So, unplanned urban communities. And mobile sources are automobile, ships, and trains. Uh, well, can I interfere? Didi, are you there or Shongita?
Yes, Shashwati, tell me.
Yeah, can I get a 5 minute gap if possible?
Yes, sure,
Actually,
sure, sure. Students, just take a 5 minutes gap. Shashwati
because
ma'am will come and continue.
yeah, just a 5 minute gap. Say, I'll
Yeah, no
continue with
problem.
at 7:10. Say, okay.
Okay, okay, take a break.
Thank you. Are you students ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I want an interaction. I mean, you people are keeping silent. How would I know that you people are either listening or not? So, if I ask any question of you, any question to all of you, do please try to respond, huh? Otherwise, how would I know that you am audible or not? Okay, is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's come back. It was a short break actually. Now I was discussing about this major sources of air pollution, right? And now what is air toxics? What do we mean by toxicity? Any idea?
Impurities in a complex
That is
or a
actually
toxic
into
substance which is affecting the human life or well the living surface.
living beings, living
Living
anything. It
beings.
can be
Mhm.
plants, it can be human, it can be anybody, right? So that has got a negative impact, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are air toxics? Air toxics are substances that actually toxify the air, right? Isn't it? So
Yes, ma'am.
they include this benzene, which is found in gasoline, perchloroethylene, which is actually used in cleaning industries, and methyl chlorides, which are used as in paint. I said that in paint we get toluene, we get certain compounds. So methylene chloride is another component which is present in paint. Okay, and these are actually used in industries, and when they are emitted or they are excreted, you can say emitted from these industries fumes, they do affect the air of the locality in the long run they affect the locality at large. Okay, other examples of air toxicity includes this asbestos sheets. You have heard of asbestos industries, the asbestos, you know all know what asbestos are, isn't it? Do you have any idea what asbestos are, students?
Students kindly interact with Shashwati ma'am, please. Kindly unmute yourself and just interact with the madam.
Students,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's basically a component of silica, I guess. Like asbestosis occurs, like those worker who work in those,
no,
like
I want to ask you that you have seen asbestos, right? I don't want to go into detail what asbestos are, but you people are familiar with the word asbestos, right?
Yes, ma'am.
yes,
The
yes,
things
ma'am.
that we use to cover our roofs. That's what I am saying. I don't want to
Yes,
go
ma'am.
into that. I'm not asking about the chemical composition of things, but in asbestos industries, what happens? We get the fly ash and certain compounds like cadmium, lead compounds, which are actually toxic to mankind. Okay, and this air toxics originate from this man-made sources, and they include the motor vehicles, the industries, and these power plants, this chemical manufacturing industries, as well as steel mills. Okay. As well as I discussed about forest. I told you about forest fires. So when forests are laid to fire, or when forest fire starts, they liberate a huge amount of compounds into the atmosphere that are actually toxic to air and cause air pollution. So huge amount of toxicity is released during forest fire. Okay. Now, what are the factors affecting air pollution? What are the reasons for this air pollution to occur? First is the humidity. These are categorized under meteorological characteristics like wind direction, the wind speed. Suppose you have got an industry in an area where the place is very windy. So when the industry is emitting a huge amount of smoke loaded with this harmful chemicals, what the wind direction will carry the smoke, these particles into a direction, will carry these particles along with it, and will pollute the surrounding area. So air pollution is affected by this wind direction, the speed, the atmosphere lapse rate, and relative humidity. Why relative humidity? Because in a humid area where there is a huge amount of water droplets present in atmosphere, the formation of smog is common. Because formation of fog is common, acid rain is common. Other features are topographical features like mountains, landforms. If there is a mountain near an industry, this or a factory, this factory is liberating some waste, and this large mountain, huge mountain, is not allowing it or becoming a hindrance in the flow of this uh, waste material. So in a way it is polluting that locality. So since the pollution is local, but air pollution is there, although it's local. Characteristics of pollutants means whether it is a particulate matter, whether it is a gaseous matter, whether it is organic, whether it is inorganic, and the mode of release of pollutant. Okay, how is it is being released? Is it released continuously? Is the factory working day and night? Is releasing a huge amount of air pollutant into the area? Or it is a highly polluted urban area where huge amount of automobiles are moving, vehicles are moving, and leading to a huge amount of gaseous release from the smoke and all those things. So the mode of release of the pollutant. Okay. Now, effects of air pollution. Well, I won't go into that. I'll just ask you people straight. You people answer me this question of mine. What do you think? What can be the effect of air pollution?
Respiratory system related problems, breathing,
Okay.
like
Okay. Shall we
affecting
done?
the affecting
Other?
the whole surrounding of the biosphere, like it affects both the living organism, like plants and animal both, like their metabolic cycles are also been affected by air pollution, and
Okay.
human cause are also been there.
Okay. Other? Both of you don't tell. I want a response from other people.
Ma'am, the main problem is global warming.
Okay. I have discussed already. Yeah. So, what effect does global warming has to do with this?
The total
Of course, global warming is an effect of air pollution. Of course, I have mentioned it. But how does this global warming affects individuals?
the temperature rising.
Okay. So, if temperature rises, what happen? What will happen? See, not necessarily that you people have to respond in English with me. You can speak in any language. Hindi, of course, Hindi or Bengali or English. But I want an answer.
Ma'am, due to the process of global warming, the Arctic and the Antarctic ices are melting, and the people who are living near the coastal areas or or in islands, different islands, they are getting affected because the sea level is rising, and their habitat, or not only I mean the humans, all type of living beings, they are getting affected because the sea levels are rising and they are losing their land.
Okay. And what can be the other effects? Leave this for people. I want a response from others.
Ma'am, acid rain.
Yeah, then acid rain, what will affect? What will happen if acid rain occurs? It's good now. You're getting tons on tons of acid. You don't have to create it, manufacture it in industries. It's good that you are getting acid naturally. So, what is the effect that you are having due to acid rain? Negative effect.
ম্যাম এই অ্যাসিড বৃষ্টির ফলে মার্বেল গুলো ক্ষয় হতে থাকে, আর এটার ফলে আমাদের যে তাজমহলের মতন স্মৃতিসৌধ আছে এটা ক্ষয় হয়ে যাচ্ছে, এটার তাজমহলের সৌন্দর্যতা হ্রাস পাচ্ছে।
ठीक কথা, राइट।
मैम एसिड
That is
रेन से वाटर पोल्यूशन भी होता है और इकोसिस्टम अनबैलेंस हो जाता है। एक्वाटिक इकोसिस्टम और एक्वाटिक जो भी एनिमल रहते हैं उन लोगों को भी हार्म होता है।
एकदम सही, गुड, वेरी
यस
गुड।
मैम, लॉस ऑफ बायोडाइवर्सिटी भी ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से ही प्रॉब्लम
इफेक्ट होता है, राइट।
इफेक्ट होता है।
Then the smog that results in car accidents.
Yeah, very good, very good. This is one of the hatke response. Very good. Smog, which is one of the what to say, pressing issue nowadays. Have you been to Delhi in winter? Anybody,
No,
have you
ma'am.
been to Delhi?
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
relative of yours? Anybody? Do you have any friends in Delhi in winter? Do you have any conversation with them during this months?
No, ma'am.
Have you seen anybody? Have you seen any image of Delhi in winter during
Yes,
winter?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Near
ma'am.
Yes,
India
ma'am.
Gate and like Old Delhi, there are
Exactly.
lots and
What
lots of
happens?
smog.
What happens? What happens?
मैम वहाँ ठंड भी बहुत ज्यादा पड़ती है और गर्मी भी बहुत ज्यादा
वो
पड़ती
होता
है।
है, पर क्यों होता है? वाई ठंडी ज्यादा होता है और गर्मी ज्यादा होता है, वहां पे क्यों होता है? ऐसा क्यों नहीं कि हर जगह नहीं होता, वहां पे होता है, क्यों?
Because it's
सेंटर में है और आसपास कोई भी समुंदर नहीं है, वहाँ सी नहीं है। दिल्ली के आसपास कोई भी समुद्र जहाँ लैंड ब्रिज और सी ब्रिज
वो
हो
तो
सके,
एक
इसलिए वहाँ
ज्योग्राफिकल
बहुत ज्यादा
वो तो एक ज्योग्राफिकल रीजन हुआ, पर उससे इफेक्ट एयर पोल्यूशन का क्या लेना देना, क्या रिलेशन है? मतलब ठंडी
And
गर्मी इससे
basically, the level of pollution is increasing. That's why all these physiological
ग्लोबल वार्मिंग।
that is because since the level of pollution, the level of pollutant gases are increasing, they are actually preventing the heat from being radiated from the earth's surface, right? Moreover, since the ground level pollution is so high, especially the ozone and the oxides of nitrogen and carbon, these actually lead to the formation of petrochemical smog in Delhi. It's a highly polluted state.
ma'am, burning of parali also been a main reason of air pollution too.
Exactly. You know, one of the main reason. Can you say one of the reason that that can be considered as the main reason in Haryana, Punjab? You know, what is the main reason of air pollution up there? They have got
Burning of
agricultural.
parali.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So that is also a reason, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you say if Delhi, survey said that Delhi is being considered as the most of the one of the 2020 survey states that Delhi is considered as one of the polluted city in India. You know, so data of 2020. I have used the data here. I will show you in next slides, later slides. Okay, can you say which state or which city is the cleanest or less polluted of all the cities in India?
ম্যাম
Amritsar.
কেরালা।
Amritsar, Kerala.
Indore.
No,
Ma'am, Indore.
Indore is the cleanliest city. Indore is not less polluted. It's the cleanliest. There is a difference between cleanliness and less pollution. Indore is one of the cleanliest city. Have you heard of Satan in Madhya Pradesh?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, there is a city. Okay, if people, those who haven't heard, get the information. Satan, S-A-T-A-N, in Madhya Pradesh. This is one of the least polluted city in India till now, 2020 records. Okay, now it is 22. Now next data will be after 5 years. On 25, we will get another data. We can correlate then. Okay, now come back to the slides. So these are the effects of air pollution. As you have said, chest pain, nausea, coughing, asthma. Asthma spelling is wrong anyways. Reproductive and neurological disorder, low lifespan, loss of heritage by corrosion, abrasion, and direct acid attack, as well as deposition. This corrosion, abrasion, direct acid attack, all these are effects of acid rain that affects the heritage building. As you said, somebody said that about Taj Mahal, right? Monuments and Taj Mahal. And deposition means rusting. Now, how come rusting has got an effect with this pollution? You know what is the reason behind rusting?
Yes, ma'am,
Ma'am,
oxidation.
moisture.
Oxidation. Very good. Oxidation of what?
Iron, like
Iron.
iron
So if
sulfur.
there is a pollution, the water vapor increases, and if there is iron in the compound, then it will react and form rust, right? Isn't it? So it is one of the
Yes, ma'am.
reasons. Respiratory effect, as well as one of the most negative worst effect is that it will also affect the unborn. Because if a pregnant woman or an expecting mother suffers from any of the problems or any of the toxicity, that can affect the baby in her womb. So it will have a neurological effect on the unborn. Okay. Here are some recent air pollution episodes. Episodes are nothing. Episodes are called other name of disasters. Okay. These are the international. This Sonora and this Amazon forest fire. Amazon forest fire in 2020 did make a hole, isn't it? Yes or no? Students, we all are familiar with this Amazon forest fire. In news, in papers, they were showing see the image.
Yes, ma'am.
You know why? Actually, what happened in Amazon forest fire, uh, farmer used to clean the crops, clean the area for the crops for cultivation, and due to this loss of agriculture, uh, the heat actually. There are other things when the lightning strikes the trees, they get spread up by the nearby trees, and by Amazon being a huge forest, since a single tree somehow got fire and caught fire, and this whole thing spread the whole Amazon basin. Okay, but it has been seen, it has been observed, or it has been studied that is due to the farming activity. Although the reasons are still not clear, but people say, scientists say that it may be due to the farmers and loggers that cleared the lands for crops and cultivation. Okay, but then again, Amazon forest fire will liberate a huge amount of toxic gases and ultimately will lead to the pollution, air pollution. So this is one of the natural process, isn't it? Is it anthropogenic or natural? Amazon forest fire, students, is it anthropogenic or natural?
Ma'am, natural.
Ma'am,
A
anthropogenic.
natural, yeah. Forest fires are natural events. Reason can be anthropogenic, but events are natural. Okay. And this is Donora, USA. This is one of the famous incident because Donora is a town located in 24 kilometers of Pittsburgh. Okay, what happened in October 1948? This since this is a small area with no proper air circulation, therefore this anticyclonic weather condition with characterized by little or no air movement occurred for 4 days. As a result, temperature change occurred, and this ultimately lead to the formation of smog and ultimately the death of 1,000 people. Okay, means affecting thousands and thousands of people. So it is due to the poor circulation because it's a congested area. What I said, that unplanned civilized community, didn't I mention about that? One of the anthropogenic reason, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Unplanned urbanization. So this is an example of unplanned urbanization. Well, this Bhopal tragedy is well known. We being Indian, we are very much aware of this. Due to this methyl isocyanate, MIC gas, was released from storage tank due to reported failure of vent scrubber system. And
Saraswati,
this was, huh, Didi?
slide is not changing.
Oh, it's not changing.
It's showing air toxics slide. Now it's changing.
That is the problem, Didi, with this. Whenever I'm trying to go into full screen now, I don't know
Then
why.
don't use full screen. Just use it in a normal as.
Okay. Is it visible now? The Tonora, the forest
Yeah,
fire?
recent air pollution episodes.
Yeah. I discussed about this effects of air pollution, recent air pollution episodes, and this of India. Those are international and these are national. The Bhopal tragedy. Okay. Uh, and then pollution in Delhi. This is what we discussed just now. Isn't it, students? Just now
Yes, ma'am.
we discussed about Delhi, right? That
Yes,
Delhi has
ma'am.
got an alarmingly high level of indoor air pollution, as well as it's not only indoor, it was outdoor because of these vehicles and all those things. And it has been found that the levels of PM 2.5, that particulate matter, 2.5 diameter, particulate matter of 2.5 diameter or PM 2.5 diameter is one of the major component of Delhi pollution. Okay, and they are substantially high and do affect the life up there. One of the causes is smog and high use of automobiles, greenhouse gases, and all those things. Okay, since it is an urban area. Now, what are the factors that actually cause these disasters? Okay, these are the factors. The critical study of this episode suggests that four major factors do contribute to the occurrence of these disasters. One is that a large number of pollution sources. See, only a single reason cannot be the main reason for a disaster. Okay. For example, the Delhi, think about Delhi. Seeing we being Indian, we are thinking locally, leave apart globally. When you are talking about Delhi, can the only reason of smog be the cause of this air pollution? No. Urbanization, use of automobiles, all those things. Non-use of filters in industry, smoke, chimneys. So there are so many factors. So a large number of pollution sources have to be there for a disaster to happen. A restricted air volume, as in Donora, what I said, that that was the unplanned civilization. So air circulation was not proper. So restricted air volume, failure of officials to recognize that anything is wrong, of course, because this government system, not only government, NGO, private, all organizations that are creating, that are planning for the industries, for the automobiles and everything, they need to follow certain guidelines. They need to recognize the reason behind this pollution. They need to take steps in order to prevent the pollution. And the presence of water droplets of the right size, of course. Air pollution in India. See, vehicle exhaust is due to is up to 30%, biomass burning like forest fire and all those things, or people intentionally burning the trees for urbanization. is about 20%, soil and road dust is up to 20%, industrials is up to 15%, open waste burning is up to 15%, diesel generators is up to 10%, power plants is up to 5%, and outside the urban airshed is up to 30%. So these are the reasons actually. All are the reasons, but the percentage varies. In India, this is the current percentage for major air pollution in India. Students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear? The reasons?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. These are the reasons why the pollution is increasing day by day. Because we are with the thought of being urbanized. We are having the idea of being industrialized. So with that, we are using automobiles, we are causing rapid urbanization, we are cutting off the trees. And because why tree is an important factor? Because tree do absorb harmful gases. Carbon dioxide is a harmful gas for us. Now this carbon dioxide can lead to carbon monoxide, because redox reaction is always there in the environment. So if we cause deforestation, then obviously the balance of gases in the surrounding will alter, right? We are creating we are means constructing industries in not a proper planned way. These are the pollution in India study. This is of 2020. See, Delhi is the most polluted, and this is strange to see. You will see Bangalore to be the least polluted, although Bangalore is quite advanced. Till then, Bangalore is least polluted. We heard of Kolkata is also there. It's going at par with Pune. Here it is, Bardhaman. See, look. These are the common states. Look at Delhi, look at Kolkata, look at North Mumbai, look at Bangalore, look at Jaipur. Okay. Now let's come back to our locality. Enough of global, enough of national. Now come back to our locality. Current air quality in Asansol. Are you people interested to know about this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
This is where we stay, right? This is where we go, and we on our whatever, we just stay here. So let's come back to Asansol, our own land. See, air quality index is 131 and the main pollutant is 2.5. Now, what is air quality index? Consider this air quality index to be a huge scale, okay, a normal ruler in which there is gradation from 1 to or 0 to 500. Now, when you are measuring something, when you are measuring the pollution, means we are considering the particulate matter as well as organic pollutants, as well as we are considering everything. And when you are relating that with this scale, if you are getting something that is between say 0 to 50, that means lower the scale, less polluted is the place. Higher up the scale, more polluted is the place. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is air quality index? It is a scale actually. It has a range between 0 to 500. And when we are actually putting something, say Asansol has got 131 US. Why US? Because it has been originated or created in United States. So when we are considering US, 131 US AQI, that means in that scale, Asansol's place is there. So it is neither less polluted nor over polluted, but of course enough polluted for unhealthy and sensitive people, for elderly and young kids. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is AQI? It is it's an yardstick that runs between 0 to 500. The higher the AQI value, the higher the AQI value, the greater is the level of air pollution and the greater the health concern. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see. Now AQI are actually categorized into 6 categories, and they actually demarcate whether that categories are of whether that is good or bad. Okay, so they AQI has been the index has been categorized into six groups. Oh, shit. See, here is the index. Students, can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, first is a green, isn't it? See the color, the green. The level of concern is good. Range is 0 to 50. Is it visible or will I increase? Now see.
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, see. It is green. So level of concern is good. When it is actually, when the index value is 0 to 50, then level of concern is good. Okay. And the AQI color is indicated by green color. So air quality is satisfactory and air pollution poses little or no risk. It can be of Switzerland, of course. This is arbitrary. Means at this moment, having an AQI range of between 0 to 50 is a daydream. Okay. Yellow, for yellow, sea level of concern is moderate. Values is 51 to 100. Air quality is acceptable. Okay. Although sensitive people can be at risk. AQI of orange. Unhealthy for sensitive people, the range is 101 to 150. Members of sensitive groups may experience health effects. The general public is less likely to be affected. Now, what are sensitive groups? The sensitive groups are those, the elderly and the kids, youngs, and those the people who have comorbidity, means people suffering from various ailments. The red is unhealthy, of course. It is from 151 to 200. Now, just correlate with this to Asansol index. Where do we leave? In which band are we?
Orange.
Orange. Yeah, is it? Others? What do you say?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is unhealthy for sensitive groups. Now, this is of course it affects general public. Okay. Purple, very, very unhealthy, 201 to 300, health alert. Okay, the risk of health effects is increased for everyone. And maroon, this is hazardous, 301 and higher. Do you know where Delhi lies?
Purple.
Purple.
Yeah, very good. Can you say the range?
Ma'am, it's between 250 to 290. That's the highest.
Yeah, it is at this moment at 2020. The reading was about 225 or something like that. Okay, so then again, it is purple, very unhealthy. Look, this is a pollution survey of cities in top 100. See, here India has maintained its position nicely, isn't it?
Yes.
Unfortunately, see, Noida is more polluted. But then again, all are India, Ghaziabad, Noida, Greater Noida, Kanpur, Lucknow, Bulandshahr, all are India. India has maintained its position. Now this is 2020 record. See, this is recent record. Now let's think about ways to reduce air pollution. Well, you people say, what are the ways by which you can reduce air pollution? Let's discuss. Enough of studies, enough of slides. You people just say, what are the ways?
Going eco-friendly, like instead of bikes, using cycles. Like there is a cycle ride or cycle marathon kind of thing.
Very good. Then it will be good for your health also, means for our
Yeah,
health also,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
Again, then one
Ma'am,
of the point, right?
planting more trees and reduces the use of AC, fridge, etc.
Can you stay without using AC? Can we really stay without using AC?
मेरे घर में नहीं है मैम.
Okay, we can. What is? Tell me one way through which you can keep your room warm without AC. This is a very common thing. Our grandmothers used to do it. Just think. Those people didn't use this. They didn't have AC, na. They didn't had coolers. What AC? What cooler? What refrigerator? Stop using refrigerator. Can you ever think? Okay, leave AC. Think about
मटके
matke
का
ka
पानी,
pani.
like मटके
Ekdam,
का
matka ka
पानी.
pani. Ekdam. So without that refrigerator, they used to get that cold water, right? Cool water, isn't it? And what others?
I'm using public transport.
Yeah, public transport like
Bus, train, instead of
yeah. Then what's the use of bus? Also do liberate diesel, this smoke, right? They also pollute, right? Then what's the use
Ma'am,
of
we can
using?
use solar energy in the buses like और मैम हम लोग ये मतलब बैटरी वाला गाड़ी भी यूज कर
Exactly, the cars that are actually a hype at this moment. Hype, it's a hype, right? Using those cars, the battery operated cars, right? And yeah, public transport is one of the point, but I just want to know how you can use public transport in a positive way here.
ma'am, because if everybody individually takes uses cars and stuff, so there will be more air pollution
Yeah.
comparatively.
So 100 people using 100 cars is worst. Instead of that, 100 people, of course 100 people won't
Carpooling.
get into a single bus,
Carpooling, they
but
can
say 32 people get into a bus, then at least this 32 people will prevent the air pollution, na? Will at least reduce air pollution a little bit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So using public transport, turn off the lights when not in use. Now, how can turning off a light when not in use be a way of reducing air pollution? Can anybody say?
Burning of coal and fuel.
Yeah, that
मैम
is
सोलर
using less
एनर्जी
electric, using solar energy. But then turning off the light, then solar energy, we're using solar energy, of course, is a good way of preventing air pollution. But we are turning on the light with using that
Well,
solar energy. Now, how come light has got a relation with this pollution? Just think, you people know it.
Ma'am,
Nowadays,
that
power
like
reduction.
hydroelectricity, like, so that's the main thing, because overuse of electricity, like we are overusing our
yeah,
like constantly.
that is an indirect effect. Of course, that is an, but there is some direct effect of this light also.
it emits heat and light, so that
It emits not only heat but also certain chemical compounds, hydrocarbons. Nowadays, we are not using CFLs, we are using EFLs. There are certain modification of CFLs. You know, have you got this idea? Have any information about this? They are being replaced. Previously, we were using CFLs, and then CFLs are being replaced by more updated things, which actually prevent the release of hydrocarbons. So turning off the lights when not in use has got two effects. One direct effect is release of lesser toxic hydrocarbons, and secondly is consumption of less consumption of energy. Okay. Okay. No to plastic bags. Now, how come plastic bags be an effect? Idea?
Burning of plastic bags produce toxic and poisonous gas to our environment. So like
Exactly. Poisonous hydrocarbons. Then we can, instead of using plastic bags, we can use paper bags that can be biodegradable, and or plastics that are below 40 micron, which can be recycled and reused, isn't it? Bio waste.
Ma'am, jute
yes,
and
ma'am.
cloth.
Yeah, jute bags. Jute bags are currently being used actually. It promotes our agricultural industry, as well as it's good for the environment. Reduction of forest fires and smoking.
Then the zooming process done.
Yeah, how does it affect? Any idea?
Ma'am, they burn the land and try to
That's
use.
not good. That is
Slash
not
and
good.
burn, like it make the
Exactly.
land more infertile.
Exactly.
Like
That's a notion. That's
yeah.
a notion. Oh, wait, excuse me. That's a notion. Actually, they do not make the land fertile. They make the land fertile temporarily. That's not a permanent thing. So, reduction of this process, this chewing process. Use of fans instead of AC, we know it. Use filters for chimney. This industry, this smokestacks need to have filters. Okay, so here's the image, I guess. Wait, see, here is the filter. Smokes are being, and they have got this electrostatic inducers here. Yeah, as a result, the heavy metals get collected here, and others are liberated or excreted. What do you say? Afforestation, isn't it? Planting of more trees in 2:1 ratio. Avoid usage of crackers, although nobody follows this rule anyway. Avoid using products with aerosols or chemicals. See, this is an image actually. Ways to reduce air pollution. Forgo the fire. See, somebody told me about cycle, right?
Yes, ma'am. Bicycle rides.
Walk, bike, and take the bus. Can you see this image?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you people correlate with what you said? See,
Yes, ma'am.
choose renewable energy, the solar panels, the battery operated low pollution vehicles, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And choosing low volatile organic compound products, in cleaners, in paints, eco-friendly paints, adhesives. Okay. Control of air pollution. See, cleaning of gaseous effluents, catalytic converter. Okay, this catalytic converter, what they do, they actually, this gaseous effluents are liberated from this industry. They have got this catalytic converter that actually use these gaseous components and convert them into something that can be used, the byproducts into some byproducts that can be actually used otherwise. Okay. cyclone or magnetic separator. Magnetic separator, you all know, this magnetic separator actually removes the heavy lead metals, mostly the components of iron or electromagnetic components. See, electrostatic precipitator. These actually precipitates the charged particles. This is an image of electrostatic precipitator. See, wet scrubber. This is a dust collector on image. Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see
Yes,
the
ma'am.
images? Can you see the
Yes,
images?
ma'am.
How and what way they are actually being used? Well, how can you control air pollution? Same thing. This fits smokestacks with electrostatic precipitator, fabric filter scrubbers to remove the particulate matter, and then careful land evacuation to keep the dust down. Means when you are cleaning the land, you have to keep in mind that where to throw, where to dump the things. Temperature reduction in autos and industry to reduce the nitric oxides or oxides of nitrogen formation. Okay. Use low sulfur fuels and alternative energy sources. Alternative energy sources are solar radiation panels, right? Yes
Yes,
or no?
ma'am.
Yeah, use no tillage particle and less nitrogen based fertilizers. Of course, less nitrogen based fertilizer, because we have been so busy discussing about urban air pollution, we didn't put an heat to the pollution happening in rural areas. They are also polluting the environment, isn't it? Using harmful pesticides, insecticides, right? So we need to use less nitrogen based fertilizer. Okay. Catalytic afterburns to oxidize unburned gases. The gases which are left unburned, they need to be uh, burnt fully and then liberated. Now, these are the organizations and their roles all over the world, and globally, people as well as in India, all are busy trying to neutralize the effects of pollution. What they have maintained certain or given out certain standards, as in Montreal Protocol. They have advised to use stop the usage of chlorofluorocarbon and oh shit, wait. Where is my cursor? Okay. And they have laid what to say, a standard emission standard, maximum emission gas emission standard for the cars and trucks. Not only that, they have came up with ideas or proposal to cut methane emission from the oil and gas industries, and prohibition of certain use of certain hydrocarbons, which can be a potent greenhouse gas. Okay, as in used in AC, refrigerator, for and find some other alternatives. Okay. So these are the guidelines. These are the protocols that has been laid forward. It's unlikely that people don't follow them, but they are trying to make people pay attention to this, because ultimately it will help in the long run. Now, this is something of recent, means COVID-19 and its effect in air pollution. Well, before going to this, I just want to ask you people, what do you think that COVID lockdown, does it had any effect on this thing, this pollution?
Yes, ma'am. It definitely has an effect.
What effect, if any? What effect? What do you think? We are just discussing and not
Basically, at the starting of the COVID, there is observed
one
most
at a time, please. One
positive
at a time.
effect.
Yeah. Samavi, please
Ma'am,
repeat.
Ma'am, basically during the first lockdown when the COVID peak was at high level, then most of the positive impact in our nature or our surrounding has been observed, like more cleaner air, like less pollution, and especially the Ganges was like cleaning her own self. Like there are more mm, survival rate of the organism has been higher at the time, and some species even some species of sparrows have been like exhausted at that time, after this situation of COVID, like those sparrows have been observed, so I have observed all these natural things which have been like
Yeah, that means those
finished.
migratory birds, they are coming, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
some species are being observed there to visible. Those who were somehow thought to be extinct, they were not actually extinct.
Mhm.
They were just finding some way, nooks and corners. They were hiding themselves, and then when the pollution got down, they are just coming back to their life, right? That's
Yes,
what
they
you
were
understand. Yeah.
vanished for like a year or more.
Okay. Okay, Sambhavi. Any other?
Ma'am, because
Ma'am,
we were
these are
our
pollution level.
Okay, Shalu, you first say, and then followed by another one. Please say, continue.
Ma'am, COVID-19 has also the positive impact, like air pollution level is decreases in Delhi also, means traffic due to means मैम जैसे कि उस टाइम तो लॉकडाउन पे सब घर पे थे तो कोई बाहर नहीं जा रहा था तो पेट्रोल वगैरह यूज नहीं होता था जिसके वजह से पोल्यूशन लेवल भी डिक्रीज हुआ.
Yeah. And other?
ma'am, because we were staying in our houses, so ACs and lights, everything was being used more.
Hmm.
So there was more emission of those harmful gases and stuff.
Exactly. This is something different. Of course, of all the nooks and corners, if you see the thoroughly the whole thing, you will find a contradictory response. See, air pollution level did dramatically decrease due to lockdown. Yes, because there were less vehicles, less people, less moving around, and all those things. Industries were locked down, and all those things. So, air pollution, if you think in that way, did dramatically decreased. Yeah, and that significantly did improve the air quality. But, but since people were constricted in their home, they were using refrigerator, they were using ACs, they were using high-end electronic devices, which were, by the way, technically or indirectly giving a positive feedback to this chlorofluorocarbons or whatever, if not chlorofluorocarbon, this hydrocarbon emission. Not only that, the people, those who are using sanitizers, yeah, it has been said that sanitizer should maintain the healthy limits. But constant use of sanitizers and then disposal of the mask, gloves, and all those things, waste products, they did endanger the environment. So it was just like a scale. In one side, the pollution has been decreased due to this lockdown effect, and other side, that has been balanced up with the use of this medical waste, has haphazard use and disposal of the disinfectants, the mask, and all those things. So, at ground level, although the pollution has decreased, but at higher level, it didn't had any that much effect. Effect was not that prominent. Okay, so it had, see, look at the image. This corona outbreak didn't affect the higher level, but all at ground level, of course, it had some positive effect, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, now the conclusion. I wrote nothing in this conclusion slide intentionally. Can you say why? Can anybody say why?
Because it differs person to person, that's why.
Are we yet to conclude? Can we really conclude?
No,
and
ma'am.
what to conclude. Where are we at this moment? Can we actually ignore the positive outcomes that we are enjoying due to the use of this urbanization tools and techniques? Can we ignore that?
No, ma'am.
Can we go back to those areas, those ideas that our grandmothers used to do, incorporate? We can't, because we are not habituated. But we are trying, right? We can try. So that is what we can do. So that's why I left this thing blank, because we are yet to conclude. Because conclusion depends on us. It's you people, the younger generation, we, that need to conclude, need to think what we should do. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? What do you say? All of you, what do you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you abide with my idea? Means this thing? Can you draw a conclusion on my behalf?
Yes, ma'am.
What? Means I would love if you people do conclude on my behalf on this topic. What do you say? Sambhavi, what do you say as a conclusion? What do you love to say?
Ma'am, controllable use of our natural resources and renewable and both type of resources, and maintaining protocols as we are the youth. So that's why, because taking single step would make a big change.
Yeah, of course. Because we know that prevention is always better than cure, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we can do is to prevent. We can do is to take smaller steps, right? Any other idea? Students, any other idea? Apart from what Sambhavi said?
Ma'am, we can also aware the more and more people. So मतलब मैम वो भी जैसे कि हम लोग को अवेयर करेंगे तो वो लोग भी और को अवेयर करेंगे जिससे कि ज्यादा स्प्रेड कर.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And then?
Being sustainable and keeping in mind the 3 Rs.
We can do what we can do is very practically, we can at least plant a tree, right? That we can do, each and all of us. That is what we can do in our houses, because a small step will go a long way. Anyways, so it's not the end actually, this is the start. Thank you, all of you, for your patient hearing. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Any queries, any doubts, anything?
Ma'am, is there any after completion of the session, is there any kind of debate or PPT presentation by each and every individuals in a separate topic? Like the topic aren't given. Like,
Yeah, you people will also be presenting, na? And it will start from 24th, I guess.
Yes, yes. I have already mentioned in the group that you people, you need to present a particular subject, any topic, but not subject,
Yeah,
in any topic
any
each.
topic. Yeah.
And you will get 10 to 15 minutes. And the choice is yours. The topic choice is yours. And just it will start, I think, from 28th, 29th, and 30th. I mean, 3 days it will need at least to complete this process. So be prepared for this and just prepare a topic. If any help you need, that's you can directly contact me.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
We are there for
Like,
you. Just any topic in which you people are comfortable, because
But
it
it's
will,
on environment
of course,
sustainability.
of course, of course, of course, it
Exactly.
must have
I
a
mean,
relation.
exactly. It's on environment and sustainability. You people just take any topic, no limitations. But the main target is environment and sustainability.
Yeah. Because in a way, you people will be actually trained at how to do the presentation, and you will have the confidence, gain the confidence.
ma'am,
So
minimum
any,
number of slides or maximum number of slides we can prepare.
There is no slide limitations, number of slide limitations, but there is a limitation of time. You cannot take a long time. So there is 10 minutes to 15 minutes time you have to complete between that. No slide limitations.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
okay, any doubt till about the slides or whatever I taught? Means any queries, anything that you people want to know, or is it clear? Didi, what to say? I don't think they have any.
I think no no confusion because it's explained so nicely, Shashwati.
Either they have understood or they haven't understood. That is the thing. Whether
Yes, ma'am, we have understood. It's well.
either they have
It is
understood well, that's why they don't have any query, or they haven't understood a word. That's why they are silent.
No, no, they are good students. Anyway, I think it's over for today's class. I will take class tomorrow.
Yeah,
Instead of Monday's schedule, I will take class tomorrow, and this tomorrow schedule will be on Monday. Okay?
there will be a swap of classes.
okay,
Because
ma'am.
after this air pollution class, it will be better to understand